All right, it's the finale. It's been a long summer. It starts off with Zach talking to Trinity, and they're just talking about their feelings. And he told her that he was going to hold her tonight. It was kind of cute. Zach said he was ready to go home. He didn't think he'd make it to the final four. And Kata said the same thing, but I think it's because they thought it was going to go in the order it did during the karaoke competition, which so did I. Melanie and Sincere are talking, and she's saying she's glad that America saw the good in them. And see, that's what I was worried about because I don't know how people voted, like why people voted the way they did. I'm seeing that a lot of people voted because they just like Melanie. Um, but that doesn't make sense because then your Sincere is going in the final. But I guess people didn't care, or maybe there are people who like their connection, which is disturbing. But either way, I knew she was going to feel like because they were in the final for that everybody approved of their relationship, which is crazy. Although she shouldn't even need to America to tell, she shouldn't have needed anyone to tell her. She should just know it sucks. And actually, I think she does know because you catch Melanie in moments looking really sad, like she knows she's probably doing the wrong thing. Anaya was all, I was shocked. And Carl was like, really? Because Carl was probably like, he knew because America sent him back in that house to get her. So I don't, or back in the villa to get her. So he wasn't shocked that they made it to the final four. Melanie gets a text and it's time for her and Sincere to go on a date. This is really pretty. They go out to this setup. There's like a massage table and then something else on top, or the massage table's on top, and then I think there's like a kitchen because she mentioned they made pizzas. This is what got me. There was one massage table, right? So instead of him, offering to give her a massage, she wanted to do rock, paper, scissors. Of course he did. I'm surprised they didn't have someone to give them both massages, though. Oh, and then they had a conversation, and he told her that he thinks she's so resilient, and she was like, "Yeah, just because you think I'm resilient, don't put me through anything else." First of all, is resilient really the word you want to refer to the girl that you're with, like for putting up with you? That she's resilient? That's wild. I didn't watch a lot of their conversation because honestly, this makes me madder than it should. Um, I just feel like when you have a friend or somebody and you know they're doing the wrong thing and they do it anyway, like, and in real life I can't listen to someone or watch someone go through that too many times, like over and over again, because I start to feel crazy. So I couldn't really, that whole situation, I couldn't even listen to my own self go through something like that over and over again. I'd be like, girl, you crazy. And then Zach and Bryce are talking and reminiscing, and then they show Zach talking about his friendship with Bryce, and he's like, "It's platonic love." What is what? I mean, Zach, you can barely choke out the words to Kata, but okay. And Nia and Carl are talking, and she's talking about her upbringing and like how they're her family's so extra, and they throw big. Her mom throws big parties for everything, and how her 16th birthday. I saw something online too, with her birthday, and I don't know how old she was, but um her dad like got her a Range Rover or something. It was almost like what's that? My Sweet 16 that used to be on MTV. But she was telling Carl that she would throw him a party because he said he never had birthday parties because his birthday was always in the summer, which I don't get that why. But anyway, he said he didn't really care that he didn't have birthdays, but she said she would throw him a party. And that's something I want to see. I hope that happens and I hope we get to see it. Kata gets a text and it's time for her and Zach to go on a date. And then Sincere and Melanie come back. And then Sincere is talking to the guys about their date. And he says, he makes his comedy, or he says, everything worked out the way it should have been if one thing hadn't happened. If one thing had happened, different things wouldn't have turned out the way they are. And I swear somebody else said that, didn't they? And it's typical Sincere to like regurgitate it, but I'm pretty sure somebody else said that. I think maybe Melanie said that. But anyway, that's Sincere. So when they get to wherever they were dropped off to, and he says it's nice to have a date with you without Bryce hitting on you, which did that happen that many times? I don't know, but anyway, And what about without you hitting on Bryce too? Don't leave that part out. But they get in this crazy speedboat that's almost like a water park ride and get soaked. They get to this table and it had like these sandwiches that I don't think they were really good because they both didn't like them. They were like, and they had champagne. And I will say, people were like, they had Kay to buy a swamp. I mean, it's not a swamp, but I will say this was looked very low budget for a date. It really did. Anaya gets she gets her notice that they have a date, that they're next. Oh wait, Bryce was telling he was telling Katie that he could see himself in the States, and he also was saying like the words are on the tip of his tongue. He's always almost about to do something with like, you're almost gonna be my girlfriend. I'm almost gonna say I love you. So it's Anaya and Carl's turn for a date. I always love the way he looks at her when he sees her after she's gotten dressed. It's just sweet and nice, and you can tell that he really likes her. Kata gets back, and Trinity's so crazy. She's like, "Your hair, what happened?" Here she's telling the girl, she's like, "Oh, the love stuff that he said to me," and she was just going on it, and they were like, "Wait a minute, what is?" I believe it was Melanie said, "What exactly did he say?" And then she said, "He said it's on the tip of his tongue, and he's almost ready to say it." And Melanie said, "Well, he should let it come out." Now, this date was not low budget. Anaya and Carl's date was probably my favorite. Look how beautiful that is. They got them a book about their journey. It was nice. Look at that. When they first met, they did it from the beginning when she came into the villa. Even Casey's in there somewhere at the beginning. And it was just a really nice, it was their date. Yeah. She said to him, she thank you for giving me another chance. And he said it was always going to be you. Oh my, come on now. Come on. And look at them. They got up and danced. It was so beautiful. So now Trinity and Bryce are ready they get a notice that they're having a date. It's their turn. It's what they're wearing, what Trinity's wearing. She looks good in everything. Carl and Anaya are back. This is when they showed everyone the book. Everyone seeing the book. Why did Melanie smell the book? Carl's talking with the guys and he's like, there's a lot of work like Prince Charming being thrown around, and he said he doesn't see himself as that at all. And then Zach says, when you were standing up there when they were recoupling, and he said that he said all the girls were saying such nice things about him, and now that he's gotten to know him, he realized why they said those things. Trinity and Bryce show up at their date. They're just talking about each other and their journey and the other one makes how they make each other feel. And then Bryce said, even with when your family came in and my family came in, and my family had love for you and your family had love for me, and they had love for each other, and it just, and he goes, I didn't think he was going to say this, so I don't know what I thought he was going to say, but he goes, I love you. And Trinity was like, I love you too. And then here she was like, I was just waiting for you to say it first. So then all these people run out. First, I was like, "Whoa!" Their date is beautiful. Look at the just the decor is really pretty too. But these people come out and fire dancers and stuff like that. So they go and watch it, and it was really nice. Their date was really nice too. Their dates were right up there. I think Anaya and Carl's is up there before theirs though, but theirs is definitely one and two for sure. So they get back and they're sitting there talking, and they were like, "Yeah, and we had a talk." And they were both being weird, and Kata was making that face. She's like, "Were you guys gonna get married or what?" They say we told each other we said we love each other. Look at Zach's face. He acted like he was happy, but that face, uh, y'all, Zach is in love with Bryce. Bryce jokes around with Zach a lot, and I think he's playing around with him, but I think Zach is in love with Bryce for sure. I mean, I know everybody thinks that, but it's kind of sad if you think about it. The next day, they're making breakfast, and Zach is asking Bryce what's going to happen with him and Trinity. And he said, Trinity can come to LA anytime. It's open doors. She can stay as long as she wants. I feel like Zach's trying to figure out something. So Bryce asked him the same thing about Kata, and he said, "I'll come here and stay. I'll stay at Airbnbs or stay with her." And then he said, "Or stay with you." I think the plan is to stay with Bryce, to be honest.